Welcome, everybody. We are going to do a quick thing on exam writing basics, just what we're talking about in class. So, time to write your kind of unit quiz. I've attached a rubric that's fairly detailed into the assignment page, so use that as your checklist. Um, write an exam that is a little fun to write, or just make it easy. So remember, you can go to the internet, you can use any of the worksheets from D2L to pull questions. What I want you to do is make sure you have an answer key. Okay, it's the biggest thing that enables us to mark it. Anyway, so let's get started. Not with that. We want to go this way. Here we go. So one of the biggest things I want you to remember here is that any question can have multiple parts to it. Go back. Can have multiple parts, and this can make the problem get bigger. You can add things to it or give more practice. For an example, if we do a find the error problem, so you write something out and it's find the error, as in this one here. So here's an integer problem, okay, a find the error. So I have 4 different lines. Okay, I solve it down. Here it says, in what line does the error or errors occur? Circle all that apply. So here, in this one, it's number 3 and 4. 1B is going to be explain the error or errors that were made in 1A. So here I've got 2 different kinds of questions embedded into one. Now, you don't have to use these, but as you'll see, do I have another one? But the other thing you can do here is, let's say, for adding and subtracting integers. In one question, you can put like A, B, C, and D, and that way people have to solve 4 problems instead of 1. So don't be afraid to use subsections within a question. Next one, trick or treat. Try to put a trick or 2 into your exams. So make the answers close, or like just make it a negative away. So here's a really simple problem. -3 plus -5. This is adding integers. The answer is going to be same sign, keep the sign. 3 plus 5 is 8. But in here, so I have the answers -8, 8, -2. Well, that's the difference between the two. So if I take 5 and -3, I get 2. And this one, 15, if I multiply instead of add, I get 15. So all of these answers are possible. So another good thing is to just change the operation for your answer. Short answer. These are things like find the answer, solve, what is the error, explain the rule. The short answers are the most common ones, especially in written exams. They're very common because it's straightforward. Every multiple choice is technically a short answer. They're just giving you the answers. So easy and diverse, use it how you'd like. True and false. True and false is best used when there are several parts in one question, kind of like matching. So one true and false question really doesn't test much knowledge. So for example, here, I have 1A, B, and C. Again, we're back to that multiple layers within one question. So adding integers is like multiplying integers. Same sign positive is a multiplication rule. So you see how these are all related to integer rules, but I can test more than one understanding. If you put in those tricks in there, you can also put the same question in, but word it differently. I did make one here that you can take a look at. Here it is. See if I make it a little bigger. Can I make it bigger? Oh, well, hopefully you can read it. Can I make this bigger? Let me just zoom in here. There we go. That's a little bit better. So this one. So I'm in integer rules, 1A. When adding integers, if the numbers have the same sign, it will always be positive. So you see, you really have to know your rules in order to answer that. And make sure you put a true and a false next to it, okay, so they can just circle it. When multiplying integers, if the same signs are different, look at which number is biggest to determine the sign of the answer. See, you really got to think about that, because we're not looking to see which number is bigger in multiplication. That one would be false. So the way you write them makes it easier or harder on the person writing it. Okay? You can add humor into those as well if you'd like. Next one. Basic word problems. These ones are fun. Look at that spelling. That's awesome. Example. If you're not sure how to do this, so any question can be turned into a word problem. If you can't think of any, Google to the rescue. Search for an example, like an order of an ops word problems, and change it. What I do is sometimes I'll just write a question in numbers, so -2 plus -3, or -2 plus -3. And how can I put words to that? Well, -2 is like temperature. So if it's -2 outside and the temperature drops an additional 3 degrees, what is the current temperature? Um, this was my first search. I just typed in order of ops word problems, and here I've got a whole bunch. So I pulled one of these, the investment one. I just highlighted it and I copied it. Right. A lot of these have answer keys too to help you. You want integer problems? I typed in integer word problems. So Mount Everest is the highest elevation in Asia at this. The Dead Sea is the lowest elevation at this. What is the difference between the two elevations? Here, you can even check your answer. I don't know. Is that right? Check, enter. Incorrect. Okay, so I can even check my answer here, but you feel free to take some of those. Um, where's the one I wrote? Word problems. Oh, it's actually in my template right here. So Andy has $1,500 and he invested in stocks. One day his money doubled. The next day he got a profit of 165. Later lost 238. Write an expression. So I just changed it up a little bit. Mr. Paul has $1,500 and he invested in dog footwear stocks. In one day his money was doubled and he went out to karaoke. The next day, he got a profit of 106.50 or whatever, 165, and later spent 238 on a pedicure. Write an expression for this and determine his present amount. So, like, just make it more fun. These aren't hard; they don't have to be onerous. Remember, if you don't feel confident writing your own, go and find some. If you really want to see what it's like to write an exam, try and write your own. Remember, when you're doing your answer key, please show your steps. Put in a few answers, so have some fun with this. It's always fun to have a laugh. It also relaxes people. Put a few answers that are ridiculous to make the writer laugh. Have a theme for the test. Make it funny. Draw a cartoon or two about how math is ridiculous. Here's mine, order of ops. This is a pretty basic one. What is the correct order of operations? Brackets, exponents, division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. Brackets, exponent, division, or multiplication, addition or subtractions. Exponents, brackets, addition, multiplication, division, or subtraction. Or left toe amputation, face lift, adding a second thumb to your right hand, and elbow reversal. Talking about operations. It might be silly, might be funny. I don't know, but it sure makes exams writing a lot easier. Last thing I want to show you is your assignment page. Time to be the teacher, write an exam. In here, I'll post this video. Haven't been able to put it in yet. And in here, so superhero, superstar, rock star, and bystander. This is the rubric that we're going to use. Number of questions, 10 to 30. Use different question types. So you just have to use at least one of these. All of them, there's 5. So multiple choice, matching, short answer, true or false, and word. If you only use 4, you'll get a 3. If you use 3, here. So it's pretty straightforward. If you want to get full marks, make sure you have everything in the superhero column. Specifics, order of ops, minimum number of question topics. So have one question minimum for questions on rules. So that could be a 1 A, B, C, D, or it could just be like one question. 2 questions on solving. So that would be your actual order of ops. Specific factors, make sure you have one question on prime factor, one on LCM, that could be 2 or 3 numbers, and one on GCF. Integers need to have one matching question minimum on the rules. There's lots of rules in that one. A basic add subtract, basic multiply divide, and then some order of ops. There's some bonuses here, and there's going to be one more category right in here that says, what's it going to say? It is going to say answer key. That's what I'm trying to say. You can post this digitally, or you can bring it in to me next week. Thanks, everybody. Good luck.